One of the things that I noticed when I started doing YouTube is there are really not that many good fraud cases that are really, really fun. Or let's say good failure cases that are really interesting to look at. There are always things that are happening. People are going to be arrested and convicted for fraud, but they're not that many that are really juicy and interesting where you have a lot of footage. So of course Elizabeth Holmes was a great case, and then Sam Bankman-Fried was a great case, and I also enjoyed Quibi quite a lot, and Juicero, companies that just completely failed. So there were a lot of interesting things, but there isn't much. So when something comes around that gives you everything, it's like a really interesting case, it's an interesting founder, you have video, like a lot of video of the person talking. This is my favorite thing. If there are a lot of videos of the person talking that is going to be arrested in the future, it's just really fun. Because you can always go back and you can do a post-mortem and you can laugh at it and you can tell the story and so on. So this is the story of Builder.ai. This company, it was very simple. They wanted to make it really, really easy to do app development. So basically you can create an app, and they said like ordering a pizza, make it really easy, which you can do now. It's not like ordering a pizza. It's not like you don't need to know anything, but if you're willing to learn a little bit on the way, you can let AI do 90% of the work or 95% of the work. You can already do that now, right? But this was a selling point a few years back, so they were obviously starting earlier. So now it's already 2025, but their peak was in 2023. Their promise was AI is going to do everything. You're a business. We're going to sell to you, and we give you access to AI, which they called Natasha. Great name for an AI. It's more like the movie Her. I don't know why they call it Natasha. But here's the scoop. They did not have the AI they claimed. This is like a beautiful, beautiful scam, because it's such a classic. It's, oh no, there's a man behind the curtain, right? It's a classic Elizabeth Holmes Theranos thing where they had a device that didn't actually work. It was like beautiful. It's not they had a device that kind of worked. No, it just didn't work. The whole thing didn't work. So they had the AI, but what they had in the back end was 700 dudes in India who were doing the coding. So they basically had a call center style coding workshop, a normal coding consultancy business, but 700 people, and they were doing all the coding. But on the front end, they were saying, hey, this is all coded by AI. We have this AI company. They raised a lot of money. In total, they raised 500 million from investors like Microsoft and SoftBank. So these were not people who didn't know what they were doing, right? They actually believed this. So apparently there were also some related party transaction where they were round-tripping money. They claimed they had revenues in 2023 of $180 million, but in reality, it was only $45 million, which is good. But you know the rule, like rule number one, never lie to your investors. If you lie to your investors, this is fraud. It's going to be wire fraud because they give you money and you lie to them, and then you're going to be charged with a crime. This is what happened to Theranos. This is what happened to all the big frauds, including Billy McFarland, who is kicking ass again. He's doing Firefest too. So obviously the whole thing collapsed, but we have a lot of interviews with the CEO and founder. So let's go into it.
Bring in Sachin Dev Degal. He's founder and CEO of Builder.ai, and he's here with our own Steve Kovac. Welcome to both.
All the videos of him, all the interviews, he's wearing the same sweater. I don't know what this is. It looks like a nightmare. I don't know why you would wear that. This is a statement. Honestly, if you talk to someone and they're like really smart and they're very reserved, they seem very professional. This is not a Sam Bankman-Fried type, right? Sam Bankman-Fried, his brand was being eccentric. Elizabeth Holmes, her brand was being eccentric. You expect them to wear something crazy. If someone seems normal, talks normal, and is super professional, and they wear something crazy, run. Because this is their inner self trying to warn you. They're saying, I'm not that guy. I'm actually crazy. So he probably talked, oh, this is a crazy sweater. And he's like, oh, yeah, I really like the sweater. My son picked it out for me. It was like a huge thing. So don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. If someone is normal and they wear something crazy and they try to downplay it, run. They are crazy. This is their subconscious trying to warn you.
Both of you. Let me back up for a second, Sachin. Before AI became part of this, we had a lot of no-code, low-code technology. Just explain that for a second.
Sure. You know, when you think about what's happening in the industry and the world at large, is you're having more and more businesses now build software just to be relevant.
Right.
The old way is not going to work anymore. And so you had this movement of no-code, low-code, where it said, hey, I'm giving you a canvas with some tools. Go build whatever you want. The problem is most people can't use Excel. They think Java is a coffee bean you buy at Starbucks. And so getting them...
Great joke. So he's from the UK, as you can hear. He has a very, very UK accent. He seems super straight. The way he talks, he seems like a typical CEO type. There are so many CEOs who are like a bit wild, a bit eccentric. And when they talk, you realize, okay, they're actually thinking this up as they're speaking. He is the classic type of the CEO that is politically correct, that is trying to be to the point. It's just trying to be very media friendly. He seems very media trained, which, by the way, I can't get over the sweater. I think this is the sign. If you ask me, hey, you've watched so many videos of so many different frauds doing stuff, what do you think is the sign of this person? Why couldn't... It's a sweater. It's like, that's it. You can listen to him speak. It's a sweater. It's literally that. He couldn't fathom wearing a black sweater. It wouldn't compute for him. He needed to wear that thing.
To now try and build applications which their business depends on.
Right.
It's no longer nice to have. It's really difficult.
Okay, so this is the introduction. They're doing no code. Clearly now there are many more companies, Lovable, Cursor.ai. There's so many companies that allow you to do that already. It's not no code in the sense that you don't need to see code. It's basically doing the code for you, and you can access the code if you want to, or you can flat out see the code and see it be written for you. But at the time, this was a bet. This was something that could have been a market leader if they actually had technology and not 700 Indians. But then again, it doesn't make it unscalable. You can scale Indians because there's so many. There's so many Indians in the tech industry. I think it's not a coincidence that so many great American companies are led by Indian CEOs.
When I'm doing plug and play, well, what happens if things start breaking or don't work the way that I want them to or I want to customize?
He's got 500 Indians who could take care of it.
And I think this goes to your earlier question, right? Which is, I don't think it's a world where you simply talk to an AI and say, build me something. I think there's always going to be a human in the loop. And we've sort of been using this term human-assisted AI for a very long time.
Okay, that's actually a bit of a nuanced point here, because I think he's actually technically wrong, because now you can do it without the human. You literally can have AI build it for you. So this exists. This is the next step. It's interesting that he says that, because he knows that, hey, we got 700 Indians actually doing the coding. So even like right now, he's on TV, CNBC, talking about this. He knows there's 700 Indians in India coding.
It's a matter of how much is human and how much is AI.
So of course he would need to talk about a human being in the loop. But technically speaking, you don't need that. Like with Lovable, with Cursor.ai, I know how to code, I'm coding with Cursor.ai. It works. I learn about it. I have to learn about code still. I have to read everything and I have to understand the basics, but it is what it is. You don't need a human in the loop, except for yourself.
And so we've got to a happy medium today where it's about 1.2 human beings to build a piece of software. It used to be 10. In some cases,
Will it be
it's
zero eventually?
Well, I think in some cases it is zero. Like retailers, restaurants, we can ship stuff in a day and a half, 2 days, and it's zero. But at some point, you will need a human expert. And so what you're seeing with AI is a shift that's allowing the more creative part of human nature to kick in, rather than the mundane, benign stuff that they may end up doing.
I think there's a bit of a tell if you hear about how he speaks about it, because their business model very clearly is shipping based, meaning that they ship something, they get an inquiry or they get an order or whatever. Hey, I'm a pizza place, I want to have my own website. Great, we're going to build it for you. Wait a day and then tomorrow you have it, right? So they ship it. So for the investors, clearly there has to be an understanding of, wait, why can't they just build it with your AI? Why do you have to ship it? Because like this doesn't make sense, right? If you are this automated AI thing, why can't people just, like Lovable, just do it themselves? Like literally, if you're a pizza place and you want to have a website, you can do it. I think in 2023, you could already do it very easily without WordPress, just with AI. But because that's a very easy website. But the fact that he always talks about the shipping, I think this is a bit of a tell. You don't know what happened in the due diligence, because clearly SoftBank, it's SoftBank, but they should have done some due diligence. Microsoft for sure would have done some due diligence. but you don't know what was said in the due diligence or what the reasoning is. But I guess the selling point is we use AI in-house, and then we use that in order to help the customers build their stuff, and we are saving our own cost. So the whole selling point is not essentially using AI to give a better product to the customer. It's more like we use AI to make our own margins better, our own operations more efficient. And there's other companies doing that now, like trying to just build internal AIs to increase the efficiencies of organizations, right? But he did it with 700 Indians instead, which is the classic way. The new way would have been AI to really make your operations more efficient. The classic way is to use cheap labor in a different country.
And so we started with the knowledge graph route. Once we built enough of that knowledge graph that we could really understand what a customer was talking about, we then built...
How long ago did you start all this?
The knowledge graph started about 3-4 years ago.
Wow.
Early, but it needs data. Then it's about getting enough data to go through it. Now it's really smart. And I'll give you an example. We did a test where we ran 6 months worth of customer conversation through Natasha, it's the name of our AI. And she found 98% of the features that the human found. But she found 107% of the features that were actually discussed. So she's more accurate than the human being in figuring out, oh, actually, this person needs saved credit cards.
I get the 98% of features. Okay. It found 98% of the possible 100%. I do not understand 170% of everything that was discussed, because 170% means 107 out of a possible 100, which is a lot more than the maximum. So I don't know what that means, but then again, there might be a reasoning behind it.
Yeah, you know, the biggest problem and why 82% of software applications...
That's another interview, and he's wearing the same sweater. I don't know if it's all the same day. I don't think it would all be the same day. How many interviews does he do in a day? I think I got 3 different interviews. So actually, I don't know. But it's all the same sweater. This is more than a warning sign. He's daring people now.
That are being built fail is because they don't do what it needed to do. And so you have a good human in the loop in the consulting process. You get a stellar output. You get one person subpar, and you're rogered.
Yeah, it's
right?
disaster.
It's a disaster. And so the question is, how do we use the collective insight to ask the right questions so that we can fill in the gaps? If you ask the customer, what do you want to do? They'll say, I need to be able to invoice people. They won't think about saved cards. They won't think about which payment gateway. Those are not natural questions. So a part of this is pulling that out and then enriching the model.
So you're filling that in for people as they go along through the journey?
Yes.
Okay, it's interesting because now I'm listening to this and everything sounds so outdated. I'm thinking about Cursor and Lovable and these companies. They're all way ahead of that. He's talking about, okay, you want to integrate one thing. Let's say I want to integrate a contact form. I don't think about, oh, I need a database to store stuff. Oh, I need a capture. Oh, I need a confirmation email. Oh, I need this and that. So all these things, I don't think about that. I'm like, put a contact form on my pizza delivery website. And then there's like 10 things I need for that I don't know. If you have all these other tools, they know that. They realize, hey, the integration, okay, there's the AI Claude, right? Anthropic Claude is this model that's really good at coding. This is what I mostly use in Cursor AI. This is all there now. So it's almost very outdated what he's saying. It's 2 years ago, but it feels like it's 20 years ago. It feels like you're watching a video. It's like a long time ago. Oh, they didn't know that you can download a code editor that has full AI as a co-pilot and it can write everything for you. You don't need to know how to code. So we have that. So it's funny how fast things have progressed in just 2 years.
As everyone does now, we have an AI. Her name is Natasha. She's synonymous for all of the automation.
I'm not sure if Natasha is a second warning sign. I feel like his sweater is number 1. Natasha is a strange name for an AI. You got whatever, Alexa, you got Gemini, Claude. I don't know why Natasha seems off. Maybe because it doesn't fit the normal structure where they want to have a very easy, like Claude. Alexa? Okay, Alexa, maybe. A little more syllables there. Gemini, Grok, they're usually very short. GPT is the exception because this clearly was an acronym not meant to capture the public mind. This was not the idea. I actually listened to an interview with the product manager and they did not expect that. But Natasha, I don't know. I feel like it's not a name you would try to pick if you're really trying to create a brand. I don't know. It's odd. It's a great name. Don't get me wrong. I think it's a great name. But for an AI, it doesn't seem like it's the techie name that you want to have. Claude, obviously, is also kind of odd. So maybe I don't know, maybe I'm being pedantic.
But I think the precipice of it has been that she is your product manager. And what we realized really early on was when we recommended features, people got put off. And so a key part of what we've built is this dynamic conversation tree that uses the proximity of features and their mathematical relationship with each other, like the collective insight we have. But instead it asks you a really benign question. Would you like to do payments? Do you want to manage inventory? Will your customers be coming back really often? Do you want to save them time and have saved cards? And the minute someone says yes, and you suggest a feature, they're less likely to reject it. And the rejection is not because we're trying to sell them more. Because many cases are like, you don't need that feature. Because I think that's the other key. You need to be able to tell a customer, you don't need this. And that builds trust.
I'm getting totally distracted by the technology, just what he's talking about. But let's get back to the fraud. Because what it seems like to me is that they had these 700 Indians and they have this AI. The AI is a chatbot that makes the work of the Indian gentlemen, the engineers, easier. Because they just isolate the customers from the engineers. So the engineers don't have to do consulting work. They don't have to talk to them. Hey, can you jump on a call? I want to talk about the UI. I don't like the color really that well. So they don't have to do that. They have the AI that's like the intermediary. So the AI, Natasha, is more like a nanny that's taking care of the customers. Or maybe it's taking care of the engineers. So the engineers can just build things, and it's more like, basically they built Fiverr or Upwork. That's what they did. It's like remote work. They have all these people and they just do gig work. That's what it is.
You've just done a fundraise.
Yes.
Tell us from this region why you came to Qatar for money and how much indeed you've been raising.
Our total round was 250 million.
250 million. There was a guy who looked very Arabic in the background with the whole gear. So he was wearing the traditional outfit. So this is probably not the same day. He's wearing the same sweater for the third time in the third different interview. And it definitely is a different day. There's no way he did all these 3 interviews in one day. It's just, I know I'm like clinging to this, but I really think that this is a warning sign. This is not normal. If you have like a crazy thing you wear, okay, fine. I've got some things that maybe, actually I don't have anything crazy. I wear a lot of just black normal colors or blue or whatever. But he's intentionally wearing that thing for every single interview.
That's so interesting that you say what you're looking to build, because perhaps people might have gotten the wrong end of the stick a few weeks ago when they saw that you took money from Microsoft and you're building within their platform, offering your services on Microsoft. Why did you do that? If you're looking, I'm trying to insinuate and read between the lines that you're building to be a big public company, individual, and scale great heights.
Look, and it might sound brazen. We're looking to build $1 trillion business. We're not looking to sell for a few billion. It's not our MO. Because it's never about the money.
Here you know he's crazy. He wants to build $1 trillion business. He knows that they have all these engineers. He knows they lied about the revenues. He knows they were round-tripping things. There's no way the CEO doesn't know. There's just no way. Because the CEO is the person that they all look at and, are you sure we're going to do it like this? And he has to give his okay. He has to say, yeah, we're going to do that. Even if it wasn't his idea, he probably was his idea, but even if it wasn't his idea, he would have to give us okay. He would have to, okay, we're going to do that. We're going to have this customer in India. We're going to 10x the revenues we declare. We're going to pretend we have way more. He has to do that. So for him to say, yeah, we want to build $1 trillion company and this is not our MO and we're going to bigger than that. There's not enough Indians in the world to scale to that level. He had a valuation of, what was it? 1 billion. So he wants to 1,000x that. So that's, if we just linearly scale that, we have 700 Indians and then we have 700,000 Indians. You have enough, but they're not all IT workers. So that obviously wouldn't work. So this is a very classic fraud case. This is someone who has lied to his investors. He's going to go to prison. He is to 99% probability he is going to go to prison, because that's what happens to people who lie to their investors.
It goes to show that when you're not an expert and you can pick and choose things, that's really profound. And so that was like, to us, the telling point. The second thing was, you talk about coding software. I think people should forget the word coding.
Yeah.
Right? You're building a restaurant, you don't understand how the kitchen is built. You're probably in retail, it doesn't mean you understand how fabrics are weaved. And so you should just simply say, I need a piece of software that does this, that allows me to do Y, and everyone can talk. There's two things everyone can do. They can order pizza online and they can talk. And so why can't you take the best of both those worlds and allow anyone to simply say, I need to solve this problem, and now with the advancements we have with AI, why can't it tell you, well, this is how you solve it?
So after watching 3 interviews with him and just reacting to a few things, one thing that I noticed is that he is not talking about any tech barriers or any of the inner tech. That I think if you talk to, or I've listened to interviews with Cursor or Lovable, which are, I mention them because they do no-code stuff, or let's say strong AI support for coding, they talk about difficulties, the structure, how it works, and so on. Of course, they're not giving away all the secrets, but there are a lot of things that are just problems they have to solve, right? Now the agent does that because it's automated. There are things that are dangerous if they're automated. You don't want to have your AI do crazy shit or like delete the entire code base and stuff like that. So there are things you have to really consider, and you have to be smart to figure them out. He hasn't talked about any of those. What he's talked about is the customers and forget about code and this and that. It's very interesting how evasive he is when it comes to talking about the technology, reminiscent of Theranos. He's not talking about that at all. I would have imagined that he would be much more interested, or at least as interested, in talking about technical challenges they had to overcome. But they did not have to overcome them because they're using manual workers. They just use very simple AI that's whatever, just talking to you, just a chatbot. Or maybe they have some advanced stuff, they use some code. But hey, Claude at that point was probably already better than whatever they have, so it's kind of interesting. If it existed at that point in time. But yeah, I'm going to give him about 6 months until he's going to get arrested.